Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed attendees and distinguished guests, a very warm welcome to today's webinar on Introduction to ICAEW CFAB and ACA qualification. I am Anupama Chantrika, the training specialist in Hayford Integrated Training Institute. We are delighted to have you all to join us for the insightful discussion. At Hayford, we take immense pride in being a leading education institution based in the heart of Dubai. Our mission is to empower individuals with the knowledge and skills necessary to excel in your respective fields. We offer a comprehensive range of accredited courses recognized by KHDA Dubai and CPD UK. Notably, we are a registered learning partner with ACCA and ICAEW, showcasing our commitment to the excellence in finance and accounting education. Our strategic alliances with organizations like FERJ, DNFBP in UAE, and esteemed universities such as SP Jain of Global Management and University of Dubai further emphasizes our dedications to delivering world-class education. Before we delve into the heart of our topic, it is my pleasure to introduce our esteemed moderator, Ms. Swati Arora. Swati is a co-founder and partner of Hayford Integrated Training Institute, demonstrating 15 years of experience in the accounting, auditing, and various advisory in multiple industries. Her experience in the profession has accentuated her understanding of the business and various industries handled by her, including oil and gas sector, leisure and hospitality, real estate, and more. I encourage each one of you to actively participate in this webinar as it promises to be an engaging and enlightening experience. Let us embrace this opportunity to learn from the expertise of the panelists and gain a deeper understanding in how we can bridge the gap for your career advancement. Once again, a warm welcome to all of you. Without further ado, I would like to invite Ms. Swati Arora to take the stage and guide us through this insightful webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, Anupama, for your introduction, and a very warm good afternoon to all of you. It's my pleasure to be a moderator today and introduce Samantha and Mariam, who are part of our webinar today. So Samantha is going to be our speaker today, and I would like to introduce her first. She's the Regional Business Development Manager of the Middle East ICAEW, and Sam has over 14 years of experience in developing stakeholder relationships and strategic partnerships, leading business development activities, and growing the training infrastructure in the UAE for all the professional membership organizations. Sam supports ICAEW's training employers in both industry and practice, and has worked for ICAEW for over 9 years in both in the UK and Middle East. And we also have with us today Ms. Mariam Yasir. And Mariam brings with her extensive teaching and industry experience specific to the Gulf region. She is a teacher since 2010 and has taught ICAEW courses to many categories of people, including undergraduate, postgraduate, at multiple organizations and universities, and has trained employees over banks, like to name a few, ENBD, RAC Bank, and some major corporates in KSA. She is a qualified ACA from ICAEW, is a fellow of the ACCA, and holds an MBA from Edinburgh Business School in Heriot-Watt University, Dubai. On the industry front, she has worked as an external auditor for over 4 years and has been closely involved in audit of some of the largest MNCs and local organizations. Her industry experience has enriched her teaching style, and she is able to delve into her past experiences and give students a practical outlook on the theoretical aspects of the syllabus, while ensuring that the students are taught about the latest development in the business world also. I know that Mariam carries a newspaper with her when she's delivering her course, and that is her USP, I would say. And we are delighted to have Sam and Mariam with us today to share their knowledge and experience with us. And with this, I would like to hand it over to Sam. Over to you.
That's great, Swati. Thank you so much. Anupama, thank you. It's great to be part of the session today, and good afternoon, everybody. I will just share my screen. So can I confirm that's visible?
Yes, Sam.
Great,
Yes,
thank you. Lovely, thanks so much. So I'm just going to introduce you to a little more to ICAEW and our qualifications before Mariam goes into a little more detail. So I don't know who's on the call and how familiar you are with us, but we are the Institute of Chartered Accountants, England and Wales. We, as the name suggests, we originated in the UK. We're actually quite old. We're coming up to 150. We were founded in 1880 and officially recognised by the British Crown by receiving the Royal Charter all the way back then by Queen Victoria. We are very much an international organisation now, though, where we have 10 international offices. Myself and the Dubai team are based in our office in DIFC. And we've got almost 205,000 members and students across the world. So again, very, very international. The qualifications are recognised across the globe, with our members being in almost 150 countries. A lot of the work that we do is based around education, obviously, with our qualifications. To come into membership, you will complete the ACA qualification to become an ICAEW member. So education and training is something very close to our heart and something we're passionate about, and a lot of the work that we do. But we also do a lot of work globally around raising standards in the profession. Our strapline is to create a world of sustainable economies, and we do that by collaborating across the globe with other professional bodies, with governments across the globe. We were founding partner of Chartered Accountants worldwide, and that brings together over 1.8 million Chartered Accountants in 190 countries. We're very much about raising standards and creating trust in the profession. But we aren't just about education, we are about shaping future leaders. And this is demonstrated by some of the statistics that are there on the screen that we are very proud of. 78% of the FTSE 100 index, so the Financial Times Stock Exchange, of those 100 companies, 78 of them have ICAEW Chartered Accountants on their board. So at board level, a lot of our members are really, really very senior and hold very senior positions. The ACA does saturate the FTSE 100 index in terms of qualification. I think the MBA follows us, but that's around, I think, about 22%. So it is our qualification that dominates the FTSE 100. And so 100% of the world's 100 global leading brands employ ACAs, employ our members as well. And those companies include Amazon, Apple, Nike, Louis Vuitton, and so on. So just a couple of stats that we're proud of then and to share with you. So this is the ACA. I won't go into the technical details. I think Mariam's going to talk to us a little more about that. But there are 4 elements that must be completed to be invited into membership. And they are the exams that you can see on the right-hand side of the screen there. We have 15 exams, of which exemptions are available from relevant degrees. We've got 6 exams at the certificate level, where we introduce the basics in finance, accounting, and business. We have 6 exams up at our professional level there, where we build on the knowledge that you've obtained from the certificate level. We get a bit more technical and involved at the professional level. And then our final level, the advanced level here, it's really all about pulling everything together. It's a very practical qualification, all about applying all of that technical knowledge and skills that you picked up throughout your training. So as well as the exam modules on the left-hand side of the screen, we have a practical work experience element. And this means that there is a 3-year work experience element that our students must complete with one of our authorised training employers. So whilst you'll get all that technical learning from Hayford, you will actually be working at an authorised training employer and applying and using all of that technical knowledge that you're working through. There is also some ethics and professional skepticism training that you will work through. Ethics is tested in every single one of those exams, as it's obviously key in the finance and accounting profession. But we also place a lot of emphasis on this, again, coming back to the trust and the standards in the profession. So there are some separate ethics modules that you'll work through. And then lastly, we will equip you with professional development skills. So we are looking at skills in how you interact with a team, communication, obviously technical knowledge, adding value to your organization. And these skills increase in complexity as you are working through the ACA, with a lot of emphasis on leadership. So that's just an overview on the ACA. And we're talking about, on today's session, about the ICAEW CFAB qualification. So you will have noticed just from the previous screen, our certificate level exams are indeed a standalone qualification. So this is the Certificate in Finance, Accounting and Business. So we can start with the CFAB qualification, and we can work through all of that. It can be completed in less than 1 year. And there is actually a designation available upon completing the 6 CFAB exams, obtaining 12 months work experience and completing the ethics learning program of the ACA. So CFAB is a standalone qualification. So for anybody on the call today, maybe if you're not sure about the ACA, this could be a great place to start. And it's a great place to get off, actually. If you do start your training and you aren't quite sure, if you want to go all the way through to full chartership, you can stop. You can stop after 12 months as a qualification that's recognised globally, recognised by ICAEW. You can get designatory letters after your name. And for those that are thinking, hey, you know, I'm in it for that, I want to be fully qualified, then we seamlessly transition on to the ACA, and you're where any Year 2 ACA student would be. This is the designation, BFP, and that stands for Business and Finance Professional. As mentioned, to obtain that, it's the CFAB exams. There's 12 months work experience, which is roughly how long CFAB will take you to complete anyway, and the ethics. And once you have those letters after your name, so it's a nice tangible designation. It can go on your LinkedIn, obviously on your business cards, on your CV, and so on. But you are then associated with ICAEW. You aren't a full member. It's ACAs and our fellow FCAs that are full members of ICAEW, but you are associated with us. You are affiliated with us. You will have access to resources on the website. You've got access to further professional development training. This demonstrates that you are ethically compliant, and this demonstrates that you're recognised by a world-leading professional body. So a nice, tangible designation available in just 12 months. Why, we get asked a lot, you know, why become an ICAEW chartered accountant? And we've actually gone out to our members internationally, and we've asked them why. And first and foremost, it's those letters. It's having the ACA after your name. I think when you see that, it's just a pure recognition of the rigorous training that you've been through, your commitment, your caliber, and everything when you've got ACA. So that's first and foremost. We're told it's about career progression as well. So we do have members, certainly in the Middle East region, that might come into ICAEW membership as a second membership, as a membership where they already have membership from another body. And they've told us that once they become an ICAEW member, the promotion opportunities, they seem to open up a little more for them. We are told also by our members in the region that it really does help them with relocation potential. Because living in the Middle East, you know, not all of us are going to stay here, of course. We'll be moving on to other countries. So certainly having the ACA can help your passport, if you like, for relocation. On the screen here, but we're also told by our members that it is the support and the resource from ICAEW. So when you do become either BFP or an ICAEW member, we have some absolute technical experts that work at ICAEW. We have faculties, we have communities, we've got papers, thought leadership, insight, all sorts of resources that are help. We have technical helplines, ethical helplines that can be used and are always there to help you within your role. And then with the CPD element, of course, there's world-leading CPD information and everything online that you can tap into to help you with your ongoing learning and training. We have touched on that a lot of our members are in very senior position, and I'll come on to the earning potential in a second. And just one last point from our members internationally that they have mentioned to us, that when they become an ACA, that it's really helped them. I think for members in some of the practice areas, it helps them to obtain new clients. So when the clients can see there's an ACA perhaps on that audit team, that does help bring and win them new business. And then lastly, it's the networking element. So we have a network of over 1,400 members in the Middle East alone. As I mentioned, we've got over 205,000 members and students globally. And what ICAEW does do is we do network really well. We put on events and so on. So it's great for you to build your network regionally and internationally as well. And career options. I think whilst the ACA stands for Associate Chartered Accountant, please don't think of it solely as, I'm just an accountant, the old-fashioned sitting at a desk, number crunching. That really isn't the case. Within the ACA now, there's loads of data analytics, data analysis in there, statistics. We have sustainability running all the way through the qualification. The biggest stream throughout the ACA is business. It's really, really business focused, business strategy, business planning. It's a very, very broad qualification. So these are just some titles of where our members have, and the titles our members do have, and the sectors that they can work in. And I think we are at something like around 55% of our members are actually in industry. So it's a very, very broad qualification. So it isn't what sort of the old-fashioned term or what we may think of as accounting. It's very broad, and there's much, much more to it. We mentioned that to become an ACA, you do need to spend 3 years with an authorised training employer. We have 7,000 globally. We have over 150 in the UAE. And these are just some of the names locally. A lot of our members train in the Big Four. So just to give you an example of some of our authorised training employers that are training ACA students. So I mentioned earning potential, and I think this is quite valuable to show you because this is an independent survey. This isn't something that ICAEW have compiled, gap salary survey report. And average salaries were taken from the membership bodies that you can see along the bottom there. So CIMA, ourselves, ACCA, and so on. And you can see there that it's our members that have the highest earning potential. Why is that? Well, that's got to hint that our members are in those senior positions. So I think taking the ACA qualification really can help you, really get to your highest earning potential and take you to the top of your career. Our office, as mentioned, is in DIFC. We're a small team, but we are here to support all of our students and members in the region. We have a big student support team back in HQ, back in the UK, and there honestly really is a lot of support. You will obviously get that from Hayford, but also from us. So our students and our members can be called upon anytime. We have a student community, a physical community in Dubai, where our students do get together and network. There's all sorts of online resources available. So we can be contacted, and there is a lot of support from us for our students to get them through their student journey. I think, sorry, we're taking questions at the end. So just before I hand over to Marion, there's just some of our social handles there. So as mentioned, we can be contacted on the socials at our Dubai office. And I think that's me for now. So thank you, everybody, for listening. And Mariam, thanks. Over to you.
Thank you, Samantha. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I will now share my screen and start the slideshow. Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this webinar. I will be talking about CFAB, the Certificate in Finance, Accounting and Business. And as Samantha explained earlier, the CFAB qualification is, although part of the ACA, it is a qualification within itself. So let me talk you through the 6 subjects that form part of the CFAB. Okay, so we've got business, technology, and finance. We've got management information, accounting, law, assurance, and principles of taxation. Now, just before I start with each of the subjects, I'd like to let you know that all 6 of these are computer-based. They will be examined using computer-based exam, and each one of these, the duration for each one of these is 1.5 hours. The pass mark is 55%. And after years of teaching CFAB, let me tell you, it's very doable with the right guidance, exam practice. It's a walk in the park. Okay, let me take the liberty of saying that. Also, the exams are designed in such a way, keeping in mind the requirements and the skills required for the future labor force, which is you guys. So critical thinking, problem solving, and analytical skills are just some of the skills that you will pick up on your way as you pass each exam. So first up is business, technology, and finance. It's a purely theoretical subject. So what exactly are we going to talk about in business, technology, and finance? As the name suggests, students will be trained in the structures of various businesses around the world. So we will talk about partnerships, we will talk about sole traders, companies, and not just that. We will talk about types of partnerships, types of companies, and how each of these compare with each other. We will primarily be focused on the UK structure, so how companies are formed in the UK and all of. But business, technology, and finance is relevant to any region around the world. The exam again is 1.5 hours long, and the best part, all of it is either multiple choice questions or multiple response questions. Okay, so there's no typing large paragraphs, there isn't much written, there's not much essay format here. This is just multiple choice and multiple response questions. Next up is assurance. As an ex-auditor, let me confide in the fact that I actually enjoy teaching assurance because I've got lots of tales to tell. Yeah, I've got lots of stories to share from my days with Ernst & Young in Dubai. In assurance, we will be training students on how to approach an audit client, what exactly happens on the field in external audit. We will also be touching base with internal audit, but most of the core subject of assurance is about external auditors. But we will, of course, also be spending time in teaching you guys about exactly what internal auditors do. We will be talking about internal controls, substantive procedures, and how exactly do auditors go around collecting evidence on the basis of which they're able to tell the shareholders that, okay, so for example, Emirates Airlines, we've audited Emirates Airlines, the financial statements presented to true and fair view. The statement saying that financial statements present true and fair view is backed up by months of hard work that external auditors do. And I'm here to tell you what that hard work is. Okay, the exam is 1.5 hours long. And again, it's a purely theoretical subject. The exam format is going to be multiple choice questions or multiple response. You don't have to type any essays in this question. Moving on, we've got yet another theoretical subject, third out of the 6 subjects. So it's called law, and we're going to be primarily concentrating on UK law. And let me tell you from experience, my students enjoy law the most. Okay, even though it's theoretical, but we will be talking about real life cases. So A versus B, X versus Z, you know, how you must have watched movies on solving crime and corporate law. So we're going to be discussing all of that. I always make sure that I bring in, even though it's English law, UK law, I try to bring in the Middle East flavor. So I'm always well researched, and I ensure that I bring up relevant UAE litigations if available, you know, anything that's trending, any law or lawsuit that made headlines will be discussed in class. So what exactly will we talk about in law? We will be talking about contract law. I'm annotating on the screen. And we will also be talking about agency law. We will be talking about company law, and we will be talking about criminal law. One type of law that we're not mentioned here is called tort law. And, you know, even though it's a theoretical subject, because of the discussion and the discursive nature of this subject, we have a lot of fun, and also side by side we prepare students to pass their exams. Okay, so like its predecessors, law is also a 1.5-hour long exam. It's going to consist of 50 questions, and all of them will be multiple choice or multi-part or multi-response questions. So again, we don't have a lot of typing to do here. Okay, I'm down with three of the 6 subjects in CFAB. The first 3 were assurance, BTNF, and law. They're theoretical. You might be wondering, okay, Mariam, where is the calculation? Where's the math? When do I pull out my calculator? Well, now's the time. The rest of the 3 questions are mostly calculation based. Starting with accounting. Accountants, I'll make a bold claim here. Accountants are indispensable. No matter what industry you're in, whether it's hospitality, airline. I actually give students the example of Cirque du Soleil. It's an acrobatic company that provides shows in Dubai, Cirque du Soleil, and even they need an accountant. Okay, hence the subject is all the more important. So accounting is where we will take you through from passing the journal entries, the debit credits, the double entries, all the way to preparing financial statements and correcting financial statements if any errors or omissions occur. So it's the full package, okay? However, it's not very advanced. There's no consolidation here. So it's at a basic level, and yet it gives you the skills to actually start working as an accountant, just this one paper. Okay, so we're going to be talking about, you know, omissions, errors, if any, how to correct them, how to adjust trial balances, how to prepare and present non-complex financial statements for sole traders, partnerships, and companies. The exam is 1.5 hours long, but the structure is slightly different. You've got the exam split into 40 marks and 60 marks. The 40-mark question is going to be one long question that will ask you to prepare either a profit and loss account and balance sheet, or only a cash flow statement. Now, from the word go, the main aim of an ICAEW lecturer would be to help you ace the 40 marker, because you know, there are lots of adjustments and it's slightly time consuming. And so from the word go, our main aim is to help you answer the 40-mark questions and how to prepare a statement of financial position or profit loss account and cash flow statements from scratch. The remaining 60% is the usual multiple choice, multi-part questions. Theory does feature in this exam. However, it's a small percentage. But calculation is, you know, 90% of the exam in accounting. Okay, guys, we have got principles of taxation up next. And if there was ever a time to study taxation, it would be now. You see, UA introduced corporation tax last year. It's also, every day in the news you hear about UA giving out new thresholds and new, penalties for not submitting the tax returns on time. And VAT in UA was introduced not too long ago in 2018. So principles of taxation, or endearingly as it's called, POT, is actually significant for everyone. Even though we will mostly be concentrating on UK taxation and UK thresholds, but let me tell you, if you've studied taxation for UK, you will find it very, very easy to then study and analyze and understand UA taxation, because principles are the same. It's just the thresholds and the deadlines and all of the nitty-gritties that differ. However, the principles are the same. Okay, so what exactly are we going to talk about in principles of taxation? We will study income tax in detail. We will talk about corporation tax, national insurance contributions, capital gains tax, VAT, and the last bullet point, which is compliance requirements, is actually theoretical. So again, this subject is primarily a calculation-based exam. However, theory does feature, even though theory is in a minority. Let's talk about the exam structure. The exam is also going to be 1.5 hours long. And again, the structure is different here, guys. The exam is going to be split into 20% and 80%. So that 20% is further split into 2 questions of 10 marks each. These 2 questions are going to be scenario-based of 10 marks each. And the best part, if I may call, or let me call it the good news here, is that we already know the topics of those 2 questions. So we know for a fact that question mark 1, which is for 10 marks, will be based on income tax and NIC. There are no 2 ways about it. And question 2 of 10 marks will be based on corporation tax. So it's very easy to prepare. You just need to know, because you already know the topics, you just need to know how to handle the intricacies of the exam. And that's where we come in. The remaining 80% of the marks are from 40 multiple choice or multi-response questions. And that is how you will be able to complete the exam. And last but not the least, the 6th subject is management information. As the name suggests, we will be talking about information and how to create and present that information such that it suits the management of a company. So this time this subject concentrates on the internal stakeholders of an organization. And internal stakeholders, right at the top, you've got management. So we will be talking about the information that management requires for day-to-day operations, for its strategic decisions, for its tactical decisions. So information like costs of products and services, how sales price is determined. We will also talk about how to create budgets and how forecasts are created. We will talk about the key features of effective management performance systems, and we will actually pinpoint what exactly does it take to develop a system that helps in managements make their decisions on a day-to-day basis. So we'll be covering operational, tactical, as well as strategic information focused on the needs of management, because after all, they're the ones running the company, yes? Let's have a look at the exam structure. So 1.5 hours does not change. However, you've got 20% of the marks allocated to one scenario-based question. Okay, I'd like to, again, link the scenario-based to what I said earlier in my first slide, because the exams of CFAB are designed in such a way that they are able to help you with critical thinking, problem solving, and practical skills that will actually help you at your workplace. We will have a lot of questions that are scenario based. So you're able to use the information in the scenario and problem solve specific to the scenario. So 20% of the marks is one scenario based question, and the remaining 80% are from 32 MCQs or multiple response questions. We're here to help you take these questions and these subjects step by step, and we will make sure that you are exam ready whenever you decide to sit the exam. That's all from my side. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mariam and Sam, both of you. It was a wonderful talk. And our platform is now open for any questions that the attendees may have. So I have one question from Barka, and that is, can you please explain the support services and resources available to students when we enroll in Hayford's ICAEW training program, such as study material, online platforms, and mentorship opportunities? So to answer you, Barka, we do have mentorship opportunities because Hayford is an offshoot of Crest & Brennan and AJMS Global. So we do have opportunities in these two companies, and that is what Hayford is integrated. You know, it provides the training and it does provide the opportunities as well. So students can enroll for the ICAEW programs, and at the same time, they can have experience learning practicalities of the course at our organizations, which is Crest & Brennan and AJMS. So definitely that's a possibility. And another question, this could be for you, Mariam or Sam. How does having CFAB and ACA qualification enhance one's competitiveness in the job market, both UAE or internationally?
I can take that. So she's talking, so I think the question is asking about job prospects and career growth. I've taught in multiple places, and I'm still teaching in multiple places, and I'd like to tell you that having an ACA is like having a Medal of Honor. Because if you want to work in the finance, accounting, or business sector, the one thing that employers are looking for is a chartered accountancy qualification. If you read the job descriptions, if you're looking for a job and you read the job requirements, they will say requirements. In the requirements, ACA or ICAEW always features. So I think if you want to have a sure shot of getting ahead of the pack, so to speak, and increasing your chances of employment and career growth / promotion, ACA is integral. It's very helpful. Just to add to that, I collaborate and I speak to a lot of employers and people in the industry. And if you tell them, yes, I'm an MBA graduate or I've done my BSc in accounting, it does not have the same impact as when you tell them that I'm a chartered accountant from ICAEW. Their eyes light up and they remember you. So I'm just giving you a very small practical example that I've seen over the past many years in my experience.
The next one is how long it takes to have to complete the exam. I have 8 exemptions in ICAEW ACA qualification, but for BFP, I need to attempt accounting exam. That's the question.
How long it takes to, so I would answer that specific to the accounting exam.
Yeah, seems like, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So if you want to attempt the accounting exam, sure, it's completely doable. You just need to understand the exam structure. So how, we go about it, we do a reverse engineering. We look at the exam, we look at what the examiner wants, and then we teach you. We don't just blindly teach and then ask you to tackle the exam. It's always reverse engineering. So yeah, sure. If you want to pass the accounting exam, it's not going to take too long. I cannot exactly give you the number of months because it depends on how much time you give it. Are you a full-time student or a working student? So it's going to depend on that. But the best part is whenever you're ready to sit the exam, you can book the exam any time of the year, any city that suits you, and at any time.
Perfect.
If
So
I could,
yeah, go ahead, Sam.
sorry, Swati. Yeah, no, just to that question, yeah, you're absolutely right, having those exemptions, but to get that BFP designation and a CFAB qualification, we can't exempt accounting. So you're absolutely correct. BFP, sit that accounting paper, 12 months work experience, and the first 6 modules of the online ethics program. Okay.
Right. So someone's asking to share the timeline to complete the program and fee structure as well. So after the webinar, anyways, we are going to email this to all of you, so you can have the details there. And the next question would be, how does the demand for finance professional with CFAB and ACA qualification is in UAE as compared to other countries? Maybe Sam can take this up.
I can't speak for the demand in other countries, but in the UK, I can speak to the Middle East and the UK. And in the UK, the ICAEW qualification just dominates the market. Again, there are independent surveys that are produced, and I've got some slides actually that just say, we look at the top 70 accounting firms in the UK, obviously our big four at the top there, and the ICAEW figures annually, ACA students annually vary between 1,500 to 1,800 students. Versus ACCA that are 3 digits. So certainly in the UK, the demand it's just the qualification of choice. And I think, to speak to Mariam's point as well, that when you see those letters, that ACA, the employers, that really is what they're looking for. And I work with the employers, as Swati said at the beginning of the call, and quite commonly, and rightly so, a lot of employers out there offer their staff the opportunity to choose which qualification they want to do. It might be the ACA, ACCA, CPA, and that's the right thing to do because it's the individual's choice. But I speak to a lot of employers, and they do tell me that they can really see the difference when someone's been through the ACA. They see the difference in the skills in that person at the end, because of everything that you've learned and the skills that you've picked up on the journey. I hope that answers.
That's right.
Thanks.
That's right. The deliverables will speak about it. Yeah. So there's another question from Daniel. He's asking, for obtaining BFP designation, is it mandatory to work at ICAEW registered ATP? And he's working as a financial planning and analysis manager in a Dubai-based firm that received ACCA practice license, but it's not approved as an employer. So is it mandatory?
Yeah. Right, great question, Daniel. Actually, to obtain the BFP designation, no, your work experience does not have to be with an authorised training employer. As long as you are in a finance and accounting role, which it sounds like you are, 12 months, not in an ATE. So it sounds like you're well on the way there. Just to help understand, the reason that with the ACA, the work experience needs to be in an authorised training employer is that because you're going to become a member, you're ACA. We regulate in the UK. It's strict. It's a regulated environment. So that work experience for the ACA must be in an authorised training employer. For BFP, it doesn't. But all I would say is, if you obtain the BFP designation and you did want to continue on the ACA, if that work experience is not with an authorised training employer, we can't count that towards the ACA. BFP, it's absolutely fine. If you did want to carry it over, we can't. But then if you did want to get your current employer authorised, then please, you can contact me. It's very straightforward, very simple process, no cost involved at all. So we can support with that if that would be of any interest. Thanks.
All right. There's another question from Adam. Are there any scholarships, discounts, or financial assistance program available for students who wish to enroll in Hayford ICAEW training program? So I can answer this. So definitely we do have discounts or scholarships, and that would be applicable to our next batch, which is starting March. And as you know, the subjects, there are 2 subjects going on in parallel. So every week there'll be different days, there'll be different classes, and we'll run 2 subjects at the same time. So we're starting first week of March, and we can share the schedule with you along with the discount details, which would be at least 10% on the overall fee for all the attendees today.
Sorry, and if I may add, we don't have scholarships as such, but for if there are any students that may have exemptions from a relevant degree, and if your university has been mapped against the ACA, then there are waivers against claiming those exemptions from mapped universities. Thanks.
All right. So I think that's it. The questions will keep coming, but we can separately reply to them. And I just wanted to thank both of you. And Anupama can take over with the thanking note separately. Over to you, Anupama.
Thank you all. Thank you, Ms. Samantha and Mariam, for your insightful talks. I hope all of you who have joined for the webinar has got whatever you have intended to learn from this, and will be enrolling with Hayford for your upcoming ICAEW CFAB and ACA lessons. We look forward and welcome each one of you. We'll be sending the details of the both class courses to you by today itself, and you can you may please get back to me if you have any doubts. And thanking Ms. Swati also for joining the webinar and moderating the session. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.